Hey guys, what is up? This is Grow Every Day. So I've got a little bit of a conundrum. My power went out last night, and one of these motherboards that I've been having issues with decided to die on me. Well, it didn't exactly die, but it doesn't connect to the internet anymore. So I've got this lovely Asus Strix B450F. Haven't had any issues with these, but this one was one that I tried to build in a previous video with this AMD Athlon 200 GE, and there is not enough PCIe lanes on this thing to work. I can only get 4 cards running on it. So, ran to the computer store today, got myself a Ryzen 5 3rd Gen. This is a Ryzen 5 3600. Ryzen 5 3600. This cost me $290 roughly after tax. So I'm going to throw that in there because the rig that it is on makes, I don't know, does 400 mega hash, makes about 50 bucks a day or something like that, $50 Canadian a day. So for me to wait and get another cheaper processor, I might as well just spend the money on this. And funny enough, when I was at the store, the shelves were absolutely stocked with 3080 Ti cards. And there was also a ton of those new A4000 cards. So the A4000 is kind of the new hot on YouTube right now. But it is kind of expensive. It was $1,500. Is like a 3070. It runs at about 62 to 65 mega hash on Ethereum. So I didn't need to use those screws. I'm not used to these AMD mounts. Although you think I would be. I've built enough of these things. They all have different heat sinks. So I'm going to take off this old processor here. Okay, so this thing doesn't need these. It screws right into the back plate. Little arrows in this one. Arrows right there. We'll just check dots, dots. Okay. So as I was saying with that A4000, I don't know if I finished. It gets 65 mega hashes, but it was 1,500 Canadian before tax. So you're looking at another $75 on top of that for tax. So $1,575 all in for that card, which is nuts. You can get, so that's like $3,100 to get 128 mega hash roughly, which is just a little bit faster than a 3090. And a 3090 will run you like 2,500. So that's crazy. New CPU is in there. Now we're going to go take this outside and hook it up. Let's go. Here is the offending card. I don't know how this is going to work audio-wise. This is my first time using my new broadcast mic. Here is the offending computer. It's in the closet. It's right there. I got another one up there. Works great. This guy right here refuses to connect to the internet. So let's kill it. Down she goes. I've got this Ethernet adapter on it because prior to this was the only way I could get it to connect to the internet. Oh, this is not light. This is not light. This rig has, what's this, a 3080, 2070 Supers, another 3080, and 2 3070s. So we need to get this motherboard out of there, get this motherboard in its place, and hopefully everything works. Fingers crossed. This is always easier to do with no cards on it. So this is the offending motherboard, MSI Z97 Gaming 5. I'm not sure if I can fiddle with this in the future, get it to work. Probably. Might be able to throw it on Windows or something and get the internet to work. I hear that's kind of a Linux issue where it stops working. Not sure. Here's the other motherboard. Let us put that on there. I can't. I got to take all these mounts off. This is going to go on the board. Let's plug in some 24-pin power. Here's a little reset cable. I can probably just leave that one. This one does have this fancy one right here, but it doesn't really work that great, so we'll just leave this one. Okay, wires, get out of here. Got my old stack of risers there. Beautiful. Motherboard. Motherboard is installed. Motherboard 8-pin right here. Don't forget to plug that in. Let's plug these cards in. 6 cards plugged in. Ready to go. Everything is plugged in. Everything's looking good. Cards are there. Everything is plugged in. I got my 8-pin. I got my 24-pin. Got my SATA. I got my power reset thing. All I need is my power supply and my Ethernet. Yeah, I've got my SSD plugged in. Ethernet. Power cable. Okay, let's see here. Fired up. Is the motherboard on? Should be. I think everything's good. Got some lights flashing over there. Everything's in here. We'll have to pull up the software and see if that worked. Here we are in the mining software on that board. I got it up and running. It took me about 2 hours more of troubleshooting after I stopped filming the video. What happened was the BIOS or something didn't like me putting the new CPU on there, so I had to re-flash the BIOS on the motherboard. That seemed to do the trick. Reset all the settings on it, but it took me quite a while to figure out to do that. I was having this white light. I could get 5 cards on the 5 cards on the motherboard up and running, but as soon as I tried to put the 6th one on there, I'd have all kinds of issues. I ended up re-flashing the BIOS, redoing all the settings on it, and it ended up allowing all 6 cards on there. So it took me quite a while to figure that out. Lots of troubleshooting. And here we are. This is a full hash rate. These are all full hash rate cards. You can see they're going along nicely. My 3080s are at 98, 97. They're nice and happy, doing good. That rig is up and running. I am happy. So hopefully there are no more issues. And if the power goes out, I'm hoping that this motherboard doesn't have any issues with connecting to the internet. So far, so good. We've had an uptime of 16 hours and 21 minutes so far. Hopefully I can get this to months and months and months without any issues. So one more troubleshooting thing up and running. This particular rig was down for a little more than 24 hours while I had to get some new parts for it, plus all the troubleshooting. I spent 2 whole nights, probably 3 to 4 hours each night trying to figure out what was going on. 3 hours with the old motherboard, and then 3 to 4 hours with the new motherboard, getting it in there, getting everything fixed. So it's not always glamorous, it's not always easy, but we are up and running. The goal is 100% uptime, so we are back at it. Thanks for watching. I will chat with you guys later.